All right, so today is week 9 Tuesday, quarter 3, math 7. This is your third assignment, and we're gonna go over this. So remember, there are rules, right, that we went over, correct? I'm just gonna briefly go over those rules with you. When you have two bases, do you see the two bases right here? And these are the two bases right here. You add, okay? So it's a to the 6, correct?
Yeah.
If you have parentheses and just one base, you see the one base right there, you multiply, right? Next one is if you have a division, you move the smaller number, like this one you move down, then you put a 1 on top, and it's a to the 4 minus 2, which is 1 over a squared, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, versus another one is if you have the bigger number on top and the smaller number on the bottom, then you move the smaller number up and it's just a to the third. Does that make sense? Okay. Last one is zero property. Any number to the zero property or any letter, it doesn't matter, is always 1. That's it, right? All right, with that said, let's go ahead and get started with this then. So number 1. Let's see, make sure I'm on the right page. X to the 7. Number 2 into the 12. Good. Number 3, you forgot the 3 right there. It's 3 to the 3rd power. That's 27. Y to the 6. X to the 3rd. And you want to put this in alphabetical order. So it should be like this. Do you see the mistake you made there?
Yeah.
Okay, 8 plus 8. This doesn't give you 8. Well, So this right here is saying age, right? Plus age, correct? It's not going to give you 8 to the 6th or 8 to the 3rd. And you can't add them because this has to be a multiply to add them. Do you understand? So 8 to the 6 is 8 times 8 times 8 times 8, 6 times, right? This part here is actually going to be equal to 2, 6, 2, 1, 4, 4. Okay? And then 8 to the 3rd power is 8 times 8 times 8, 3 times, correct? So this part right here is going to be 512. Do you see that? So then when you add this number by this number, you add them together, right? Your total is going to be 26256.
Wait,
Or
that's not an addition sign.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay, then you should say something because I didn't know that. It looks like an addition
I'm sorry,
sign.
I didn't notice either. That looked like an addition sign.
It does look like an addition. Okay, so then let's get rid of this shit. Okay. All right, so a to the 6th over a to the 3rd, right? Yes, a to the 3rd. Well, you got the right answer initially, so why didn't you say anything?
I thought that was an addition.
Okay, x to the 5th, y to the 3rd, because you're adding them, correct? Is this a division? It's 10 squared, which is 100. No, you gotta elaborate. If it's a number, make sure you multiply it out. Okay, in addition to putting it into that exponent form. 2a squared y to the 3rd. Good. This one is x to the 8th, y to the 12th. Good. This one is 10 to the 12. So for this one, 10 to the 12 is 10 and then 12 zeros, isn't it? I'm sorry, it's just 1 and then 12 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Comma. So it's 10 billion. Does that make sense? So it's 1 and 12 zeros. if you ever get confused by this, Grayson, like if you're like, are you sure it's a 10 and 12 zeros, or is it just 1 and 12 zeros? Just remember, if it's 10 squared, look up here. It's 10 times 10, right? Which is 100, correct? So it's just 1 and 2 zeros. So if you ever are not sure, just use a smaller number. All right, let's move on. Here we go. So this will be negative 12 with the parentheses to the 6th power, correct?
Yeah.
Remember the rules for negatives. If you have a negative number to an even power, your answer is positive, correct?
Mhm.
If you have a negative number to an odd power, it's negative, right? Is your answer going to be positive or negative? Is 6 even or odd? So is your answer positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. So what is it? What's 12 to the 6th power? It's positive 2, 9, 8, 5, 9, 8, 4. Okay. But you can put negative 12 to the 6th, but this is what it equals to, because negative 12 times negative 12 times negative 12, 6 times. Does that make sense? Is it just one page?
Yes.
There's no back sign? Okay, cool. Okay, number 15. So this one, you're forgetting. Okay, you do the 4 to the x, do the 4 to the y, do the 4 to the 2. Do you see that? Do you see how this is a 2 to the 1 power, y to the 5th power, x to the 1 power? Do you see that? This is another way of writing it. Do you see that? There is a 4 on the outside of that. Do you see the 4 right there?
Yeah.
You have to take that 4, look at my arrows, multiply it to the 1, the 5, and the 3. Do you see that? So it's 2 to the 4, y to the 20th, 1 times 4 is x to the 4th, okay? 2 to the 4th. This, you have to go ahead and multiply it out. Oops. So you should have 16, and I like to put them alphabetical order, x to the 4th, y to the 20th. Okay? All right, let's move on. Let's take a look over here. You see the parenthesis right there? You see that? So what that means is you are distributing that 3 to the 2 right there into the 5 right there. Another way of thinking about this is 2 to the 1 power, 5 to the 1 power. Notice the negatives with a 2, okay? And then there is a 3 on the outside. So when you distribute this, you take the 3, multiply it to the 1, multiply to the 1 on the bottom, which is a negative 2, right? To the 3rd power over 5 to the 3rd power. Do you see that? Okay. You have a negative. Is the power even or odd?
Odd.
So what is your answer, positive or negative? Negative. What is 2 times 2 times 2 3 times? What's 5
8.
over what? There you go. Okay. All right, number 17. No, you don't. You don't cross multiply. You only cross multiply if there's an equal sign. You understand? If it's like A over B, here's my, okay. If it's O over B equals C over D, then you can go ahead and cross multiply, but it has to have an equal sign. Okay? That's different than a multiplication sign. If you have this multiplication sign, what this means is that you can cancel them. So pay attention. You can cancel them up and down. Up and down doesn't just mean up here and up here. It could be up here and down here diagonally. Do you see that? You can cancel them. So I see a 2 and a 6. That cancels and become a 1 and a 3. You agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I see x to the 3rd, x to the 8th. If I move that down right there, that cancels, right? And then this becomes x to the 5th. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So 1 times 1 is just 1. There's nothing else on top. Y times 3 times x to the fifth is 3x to the fifth, 1. That's your answer. I don't know you have the 2, but it's your 1/3, right? Yeah. Okay. This one is a little bit more complicated because this one has parentheses right here. You see that parenthesis right there? I'm gonna have you go ahead and simplify this first. Okay, so I'm gonna do this on the side. So this entire thing is gonna get replaced. Okay. So what does that equal? This is going to equal m to the 12 over n to the 6, correct? So you're going to bring that in with us. So 3 over 8m to the 5th times m to the 12 over n to the 6th. Remember I said if it's multiplied, you can cancel diagonally top and bottom. So if I move this 5 up, minus 5, you will get m to the 7th power. Do you see that? 3 and 8, you can't do anything with it, so I'm just gonna keep it as is. So my answer is gonna be 3 over 8, m to the 7, n to the 6. Okay. Number 19, yeah, okay. This one gets a little bit complicated. Okay, do you see the negative right there? That negative is gonna mess you up, okay? So I just like to rewrite it. I'm gonna first focus in on the yellow one. Let's just focus on the yellow one, okay? And what the yellow one means is gonna be a negative 5 squared over x to the 6. Do you see how I got that? Times. Now I'm going to focus on the orange one. You see the orange one right there? So the orange one, you're going to get, there's a number right there. You got to remember there's a 1 right there. So it's 1 times 2, so don't forget that. Do you see that? So it's 2 squared, right? 2 squared is 4, so just put down 4. X to the 8th over y to the 6th. Do you see that? Negative 5 squared is negative 5 times negative 5. Remember, this is even, and if it's even, it's always positive. So negative 5 times negative 5 is going to be replaced with a positive 25. Do you see that? Positive 25 times 4 is 100, right? Oh, hold on a second. Then the 6, move it up, it's a minus 6 with the x. Do you see that? X squared, y to the 6. This one's a little bit tricky, okay? So you're going to have to practice this one on your own. Does that make sense? That's a tricky one. Okay. All right, for number 20, let's first focus on the blue one, okay? There's a lot going on there. Do you see that? Yeah. First thing I see is this S can be moved up. So it's 3 minus 1. Do you see that? So it can be a 2 over S to the 1 power. Do you see that? 2, move that 2 over. 3 minus 2 is a T to the 1 power, right? Yeah. And there's just a 1 down there, okay? Times. Then focus in on the yellow one, okay? Do you see how there's a parenthesis on the yellow one? And that there is a 3 right here? Yeah. You gotta distribute the 3 to the 3, 3 to the S, 3 to the T. Okay, so let's do that. 3 to the 3rd power is 27. S, 1 times 3 is S to the 3rd. T to the 3rd. You see that? Over S squared T, right? So, move the S up, gives me a 1, right? Move that one up, gives me a 2, correct? Let's rewrite this because this is really messy. Okay, you got the first part right there, correct? Which is 2 ST over 1. Or actually, I'm going to do that. Well, you could put over 1 times. When I move everything up, I have a 27. S to the 1 power, t to the 1, oh, t to the square, right? Over 1, because there's nothing here anymore. Everything got moved up, right? 2 times 27. You cannot forget the numbers. If you have a variable on top first and the coefficient, like the first numbers in front of the variable, you multiply them together. That's 54. Okay. How many s's do I have? One s, one s. Correct? Whoops. I don't know what the hell happened. I don't even know where I am anymore. I think, oh, here it is. Yeah. Can I move down? So then T1, there's a T to the first power, T squared, which is T to the third power. That's your answer. I want you to do that one on your own, but try it step by step. Can you try it on your own? Okay. All right, so actually I goofed. This should really be a 2. So this is gonna be a 2. That's not a big deal. 2, 3. There you go. Let's move on to the 21. This one, notice that there's a 1 right here with a 2. There's a 1 with a 3. Make sure you draw your arrows to the 2, to the F, to the G, then to the G, to the F, to the number 3. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
So you have 2 to the 4th power, F to the 8th, G to the 12th in the numerator. Denominator, 3 to the 4th power, F to the 4th power, G to the 20th power. Do you see that? Mm-hmm. Okay. 2 to the 4th power is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. That's equal to 16, right? 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is 9 times 9. That's 81, correct? On the side, think about 16 over 81. I don't think I can reduce it, unfortunately, because you can't reduce it by 2 because 81 is not even. Can't reduce it by 4 because 80 or 4 doesn't go into 81, right? So it's just gonna be 16 over 81. There's nothing you could do with that. But do you see how the top and bottom, you do have the same letters? Mm-hmm. Move the F4 up, you get a 4, right? Yeah. Move the 12 with a G down, you get an 8, right? Yeah. So on top is F to the 4, bottom is G to the 8. This is your answer right there. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Oh. Okay, that concludes everything. I think that is the end of all of this.